His name is Brian and he's here to say, welcome to the Q&A. His name...
Richard Nienob. Hold Richard. What do you think of Rusty's life cycle of a Springbok? Have you seen players go through this and come out on the other side? In all my years playing rugby around the world and all the coaches I've encountered, I think Rusty's probably the most brilliant rugby mind I've ever been exposed to.
Strong on defence, forcible game. Erasmus, captain's try. That's the bonus point. Andre Forster and Johan Erasmus are having tremendous games.
And what he's talking about in that video is pretty spot on for all of rugby and much of life in general for that matter.
It's not a bad thing that one goes through these phases, because all of us go through these phases. I went through this phase and I was exactly what I'm going to explain here for 2 years, for a year and a half, 2 years. And for me, the journey of a Springbok player will always stay the following. You're desperate to become one. Marco is now desperate to become a Springbok, Marco van Staden. He wants to play for the Springbok, so he sacrifices a lot. And then, yes, eventually get selected as a Springbok, and you get that honor of becoming a Springbok. But you still sacrifice, because it's so lekker singing that anthem, and that girl now loves you forever, and everything, all the positive things you get out of playing for the Springboks. It's an honor now, and your mom and dad's proud, and yes, you sit in that bus, and you get hoendervleis, and everything is there. It is unbelievable. I'm a Springbok now. This must never get taken away from me. And you sacrifice, and you sacrifice, and you sacrifice. Then you start getting rewards, contracts, pat on the back, yes, endorsements. People are saying great things about you. There's so many rewards that you get, and then unfortunately, you get entitled.
I'll link the video below if you haven't seen it, but what he's basically saying is that it's hard enough to get to the top, yes.
Foley bearing down. This is Richie McCann, the debutant.
But once you get there, it's even harder to find the humility and focus to keep grinding so you can stay there. The great middleweight, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, is arguably one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters of all time. His 1985 fight with Tommy Hearns is remembered as one of the greatest fights in boxing history.
34 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Thomas the Hitman Hearns. And in the blue corner, fighting out of Brockton, Massachusetts, weighing 159 1/4 pounds, with a professional record of 60 wins, 2 defeats, 2 draws, and 50 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, the undisputed middleweight champion of the world, Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Okay, I gave both fighters their instructions in the dressing room. I'm just cautioning you now. Obey my command at all times. Shake hands and good luck to both of you. What you gotta do. Let's go.
In fact, it's probably the greatest short fight ever in all of combat sport. They called it the War, and it lasted just 3 rounds. Well, 8 minutes and 1 second to be exact.
And here we go. Round 1. Hagler, right off the bat. Attempting to get inside. He'd love to be able to pin Hearns on the ropes if he can.
A more aggressive start by Hagler. Look at him, right for the body. Marvin Hagler only wants the body. He bangs Marvin.
It's 3 rounds of 2 elite fighters going toe-to-toe from the very first second.
This is where Hagler wants it, but Hearns counter-punching off those ropes fairly effective, just as we thought might happen. Tommy Hearns was hurt early, so he is boxing. Now he has good boxing skills. He did this against Sugar Ray. And inside. Hearns is smiling, but he's taking shots. Another right hand. Hearns turns his back, takes another right. Hearns in deep trouble again. Hearns is down. Hearns is down in the 3rd round and on his back. And he's not going to beat the count. I don't believe. Tommy Hearns tries to get up. And they've got to stop this fight. Does he get up? He just doesn't know.
Hagler won the fight by knockout.
Different angle. Hearns, whose legs became rubbery in the 2nd round, having trouble with his balance in round 3. Turning his back. Another right hand from Hagler. But at this point, the damage had been done. Finishing right there. But Hearns was on his way down anyway.
If you like boxing, you should definitely check it out on YouTube. It's fucking awesome. Hagler is famously quoted for saying, "It's tough to get out of bed and do road work at 5 a.m. when you've been sleeping in silk pajamas." It's a common misconception that becoming a professional athlete is hard. It really isn't. If you truly dedicate your entire life in pursuit of whatever talent God gave you, you'll be genuinely amazed at just how far you can push that envelope. I know I was. Once the respect, recognition, the money finally start pouring in, finding that humility and drive to keep grinding, day after day, game after game, year after year, that's the real challenge that very few can overcome. What separates the guy that plays 10 tests from the guy that plays 100 usually has nothing to do with talent. Talent is just a DNA thing. What separates the ordinary athletes from the elite ones is mental strength, and that comes down to the individual to develop for themselves. It doesn't just happen by chance.
And then unfortunately, you get entitled, which is a normal cycle, boys. You're not an Arsenal when you go through that. That's a normal cycle of any Springbok player. I know very few of them who doesn't go to that one there. It just depends how long you stay there. Some guys stay there for ages, then they play 4 tests.
Anthony Kiedis. Well, that can't be a real name, can it? Anyway, I'll play along. Old man Juts, you've been tattooed for a while now. I'm 18 and I'm thinking about it. Do you regret any? Any advice for a young guy trying to get a sleeve? Coming right out the gate with a neck tattoos, my very first one, was a little aggressive, I have to admit, but I don't really regret much in life. Good or bad, I just chalk my experiences down to the game, and it's all just part of the story at the end of the day.
There we go.
With all my wisdom and knowledge guiding me, as long as what I'm doing at the time feels like a good idea, I'm happy to live with the outcome. As far as tattoos go, my advice is to start small. I don't care what anyone says, man. Tattoos are sore as fuck. So try to ease into it. Find a good artist that someone recommends. Don't just go with a random guy on the high street because it seems convenient.
Just for the record, he did great. You too, mate. Thanks.
And when you get your first tattoo, get something small, something that actually means something to you, not some random tribal design that you saw in the book at the shop. If you're in the UK and you're up north, go see Abby at Temple Tattoo up in Manchester. I can't recommend her enough. She's actually my buddy Joe's missus, and a few years ago she did some sort of custom freehand stuff on my arm, which was a little jarring at first, I'll admit, but in retrospect, those are like my best tattoos. So just start small and try to be original. Don't rush into it too much. You're only 18. There's plenty of time left on the clock to ruin your body. Somebody Jenna wants to know, do you watch a lot of YouTube? And if so, what are your favorite channels? I hardly ever watch regular TV, Netflix, movies, or anything like that. For the most part, I only watch sports on YouTube.
Very thick. It's the kind of shoe that you want to wear once, and then you want to wear it again, and you want to chart your progress on how it's breaking in. Now comparing it to the previous Michael Air Jordan 1, that's when
I'll watch a bit of rugby every now and then for old time's sake, I guess, but football and boxing are my favorite sports. Fun fact, most pros and ex-pros hate watching rugby. Go and ask a few if you don't believe me. In the boxing world, I'm a huge Joshua fan. Don't really care for Tyson Fury. I just think he's full of shit, man. He's always lying, and he's technically good, but his fights are always boring. And that whole mental health shtick he's always trying to sell, I don't know. I'm just not buying it, man. Deontay Wilder, on the other hand,
he's fighting people. You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day. To this day. To this day. You just sit here, you don't know what I'm talking about?
heavyweight champion of the world, but can't really box, can he? However, he is box office, you can't deny. That guy's just fun to watch.
And the right hand, and that's good night! Wilder retains his world heavyweight title. They're still counting. Why on earth that happening?
Pains me to say this, but he probably beats them all. As far as YouTube goes, that's a tough one. I'm sure like most people, I watch all sorts of weird stuff. YouTube is just a goldmine of entertainment. It's hard to pick out even a couple of channels. I've never boxed a day in my life, but I'll watch an IFL interview just about every day.
Ruben Cassis for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. We're in Miami.
I've never been spearfishing either, but I'll watch Youngbloods just about every day too.
You got the money, I've got the feeling that you got something to say to me, honey. I'm loving the weather, it's now or it's never. We can bust this town tonight and forever tonight.
We got fire, baby!
Brody's life just looks awesome, man. Raymond Stevensons wants to know, a while back you got frustrated with YouTube and threw your toys out the cart, to the point where you even took down all your videos. What made you come back? Look, the thing with me and YouTube is, I got myself to a point where I was consistently making videos and uploading every week.
Niggas is out here swimming and shit.
I was putting more and more effort into them, but the views were staying the same. The sub count was staying the same. I was getting really frustrated because I was putting in all this effort, but I wasn't seeing any results. I mean, here I am, I'm spending all my free time cooking up ideas in my head. I'm buying all this equipment, I'm watching tutorials, I'm editing for hours on end, but I just couldn't see the results on the end. So then I thought to myself, you know what, fuck it, fair enough. Maybe this isn't for me. Got a little emotional, took down all my videos, and then I just completely stopped.
Now, everything you heard is why I, the actual owner of the Alaska Cannabis Club, will be dedicating all of my energy toward fighting for freedom and fairness, which begins with legalizing marijuana here in Alaska. And as for this job, well, not that I have a choice, but fuck it, I quit.
All right, we apologize for that. We'll be right back. Pardon for us. Meanwhile, the vote.
And then 5-6 months later, I realized just how much I missed it. There's something weirdly exciting about pressing that upload button. Because first, you have this overwhelming sense of relief because you've created something and here you are, finally presenting it to the world. And as soon as it's up, that feeling quickly becomes this mind-numbing suspense. Are people going to watch it? Are they going to like it? Are they going to hate it? Is this the one that goes viral? I don't know. Let's just wait and see. But when I started to miss it, I realized just how much I'd let my pride fuck with me. I've said this before, but for years, as long as I've had a camera, I've always made these shit videos of myself, way before YouTube, and back then, I never expected anybody would ever watch them. I don't know, maybe it was a little bit of success I found in the years playing rugby that kind of changed me a bit, I guess. So all of a sudden now I'm Mr. Big Time who's all upset that nobody's watching his videos. Here I am, in a world where there's TV, sports, movies, thousands of creators on YouTube that are way more talented than I am. And somehow I'd still manage to convince like 12,000 people to subscribe to my channel. When you compare it to people that have millions, obviously that's going to seem like fuck all, but still, that's a shitload of people. That's enough people to fill Frankston's gardens. And when you allow yourself to become so delusional and arrogant, you become oblivious to the things that you actually managed to achieve. And when I took a step back, I realized, fuck, I should be thankful people watch my videos. Most of them aren't even that good. There's a few exceptions, of course, but most people that become successful don't become that by chance. When you look into it properly, you find that there's almost always a plan or a strategy behind that success. Whether it be a Kardashian, Trump, or your favorite lip-sync rapper. If they're so dumb and talentless, ask yourself, why isn't anyone else doing it? Why aren't you doing it? Why don't you go out there and make a sex tape? Go do some mumble rap. Let's see if you go platinum. Or better yet, go run for office. Let's see if they vote for you. The same thing applies here on YouTube. It seems easy enough, but it really isn't. That's when I realized I didn't even have a plan. One day I'm at the gym, one day I'm smoking meats, one day I'm drinking a beer, but for the most part, I'm just making random videos and talking shit. When someone said to me, Brian, you gotta stop with these delicious beers and eating crazy food all the time, you're gonna give yourself cancer. Man, I'd have to back myself with the chemo. Uploading random videos and hoping for the best is not a real strategy, is it? I still don't have a plan. Maybe I will one day, but that's irrelevant. At the end of the day, making videos is always a fun hobby of mine, and I was foolish enough to let my pride get in the way of that. This is taking way longer than I thought it would. On one hand, I'm grateful that you signed on to my Patreon and you've asked these questions, so I want to put some genuine thought into all my answers. But on the other hand, I don't want to make this gigantic 45 1-hour-long video and bore you to death. So let's end it here because I'm not even halfway through these questions right now. Anyway, it's Friday afternoon and I've got to get on the school run, so let's leave it there. If you're enjoying these videos with this new little format I'm doing, please let me know and I'll chop up the rest of the videos and put them out as shorter videos. If not, let me know too so I have one less thing to worry about. Yeah, and of course, I am aware of the fucking Velcro situation. I'm gonna get that sorted out, but thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch yet another one of my shit videos. Have a good weekend.
down and get the door for me. I'm drunk again, remember when we used to be. Rosie, I know you said no more for me, but that was all before this dream that just came to me. Don't leave me.